Got everyone that you guys got everyone we need? Okay. All right, let's go injury report coming out of this thing. Okay, so we got 3 outs. Caesar and Chase, as we mentioned, and then Isaac Yadam with the hamstring, so he'll be out. And then questionables, Juwan Johnson with the ankle, Trevor Penny with the ankle, Dylan Radunes with the toe. And then obviously our pup guys, Taysom questionable, Foster questionable, and Ridgeway questionable. So everyone else is good to go based off of that. Trey Palmer's out as well. So that's the other one. So open up the questions.
You said Trevor questionable?
Trevor's questionable, yes.
I mean, questionable for Taysom, Hill, and Foster Moreau. How do you determine if this has been enough time?
Yeah, I think it's really, you just got to take the whole week. I mean, this is their first week. They've been able to do a couple things this week in practice. We just got to kind of see how their bodies are feeling as they kind of go through a full week for the first time this season. And so, they've done some good things, but obviously there's a lot of work that would have to go into that.
Did Yana get hurt in practice?
Yes.
And just what have you seen from Quincy so far that be a step in there?
Yeah, obviously he's had his fair amount of opportunities the last couple of weeks. I thought he's been productive. He's made plays. A lot of positives coming out of that. If the opportunity presents itself, he'll be ready to go.
What do you like about seeing Austin Richards at guard?
Yeah, he's played a little bit of it. Obviously in Dallas a little bit and stuff. And so, obviously he's primarily a tackle, but he has the ability to play guard if he needs to. And for a lot of our guys, those depth players, they need to have enough position flex, and he's done a nice job of acclimating himself in that situation.
When you watch film of the Giants, what's allowing Cam Scattergood to integrate himself in the NFL?
I think for as fun of a personality he is, I think he's a really smart football player. I think he has a really good understanding of the game, and obviously you can see that he can do a number of things. They trust him in a lot of situations, and so because of that, he's able to play a lot of snaps. And so, he's a really physical player that obviously shows up, so then he's able to produce because of that. But all the other pieces that add up, I think, allow him to play, at an early age.
Taysom and Foster.
I thought that was going to be a record.
I keep it going just a little. How did they look in practice throughout the week? Just giving up like their first go around.
Yeah, they did a nice job. Obviously, for Taysom and Foster, I mean, this is a long journey. They've been through a lot from a recovery standpoint, and so for them just to be back in pads obviously was a huge step for them. A lot of work has to be done to kind of get back into football shape and back into getting used to playing the actual game of football. But they've done a lot of positives this week in their roles.
What does it say about them that the injuries are relatively like the same time, but they're just also on kind of the same timeline, and one may not be ahead of the other? Like it seems like they're kind of even.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. I guess optically they've been able to kind of end up in the similar time frame, but it's been a long journey for both of them. They've gone through a lot, obviously, as we said, and I think they've been able to work out a lot together in their recovery process. I think sometimes having someone that's kind of on a similar path, I think helps you as you go through that recovery process. And so those guys have done just so much work over the last few months, and a lot of it's behind the scenes. No one gets to see it, no one gets to feel it. Those are challenging days when you're waiting to see the progress, and so for them to just be out there, obviously a lot of positives with that.
Would you take that decision all the way down to like a pregame workout Sunday, or is it more like how they feel?
Yeah, truly just like we just got to see each day how this thing progresses, and obviously they got to get a feel for whether they can play or not. They've been able to do a little bit this week, and so we'll just kind of see how it progresses tomorrow and then potentially Sunday.
Do you feel like since you started coaching, like now that the influence of like college offenses is more prominent in the league at all in any type of way?
Yeah, I think that's there's always trends that are kind of being pulled up and down. Certainly, a lot of times you could say it's more up. Coming from college to the NFL, I think the space game obviously is real. The RPO, the RPR, the QB run games become a little bit more common in the design factor. There's you got to control how much of that you do in this league because it's a much longer season. Very very physical games every week. And even defensively, I think you can see the trends of people playing a lot more nickel, and some of these teams like Arizona where they're playing these three safeties, and that's kind of like you can probably pull back to where college that's a lot more prominent right now, and so that's the fun part. We're always doing research. We're always trying to find different examples of things that we feel like can benefit us. I think everyone does it in the league. A lot of times, you're watching games on Saturdays, and there's certainly inspiration that comes from it.
Apologize if you were asked about this on Monday, but what have you made of Ken Miller's ability to just kind of break tackles? It seems like he's a big part of his practice.
Yeah. Effort and finish is a very prominent thing that we want to talk about a lot, and I think it has a huge impact on the game from a stylistic standpoint. His ability to break the tackles, just be a physical downhill runner. There's huge value to that. There's obviously the ability to make a guy miss, run through it, gain a big play, but there's also a toll for defensive players. When you got a physical player coming at you play after play, and so I thought Kendra certainly has trended really well positively the last few weeks, and he's done a lot of good stuff.
What do you think Foster can have as a blocker to be successful in the run game?
Foster's done a phenomenal job in his history of playing, an inline tight end and ability to move people at the line of scrimmage. He has, still has the pass game production that he's had through the Raiders and here, and so obviously he's a really good player. All right. There you go. All right. Thanks, guys.